Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown. I am Gloria Atta and here's our news in brief. We begin with politics, where the ruling APC may be heading for a clash with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over its revised list of Senate candidates for the 2027 general elections. The party has restored the tickets of 6 serving senators and made changes in 9 states after reviewing appeals from its primaries. The move revised some earlier victories, including that of former Benue Governor Gabriel Soswam. However, INEC says it will only accept candidates who emerged from primaries monitored and uploaded by the Commission. The electoral body says its online nomination portal is programmed to reject any name that does not match its official records. The development raises fresh uncertainty over the APC's revised nominations and could trigger another round of legal battles ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, away from politics, the presidency is facing fresh scrutiny over the case of Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi, who is standing trial on 8 counts and impersonation before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Adeyemi allegedly posed as Director General existent Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, forged presidential appointment documents, and operated dozens of bank accounts linked to fictitious government agencies. The presidency says the case began after complaints from government agencies and a petition by the Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, who denied ever appointing Adeyemi. The defendant is due back in court on July 27. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Femi Falana says the presidency has no constitutional authority to clear anyone in the matter. He has called for an independent investigation involving both Adeyemi and the Chief of Staff. Adeyemi has denied wrongdoing and accused Gbajabiamila of demanding money to secure his appointment. He also urged President Bola Tinubu to set up an independent panel to investigate the allegations. Now, in a separate development, the Central Bank of Nigeria has revoked the operating licenses of 46 microfinance banks with effect from July 1 over their failure to meet regulatory requirements. The Apex Bank says the action, approved by the CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, under the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act, is aimed at protecting depositors and safeguarding the stability of the financial sufficient assets to meet their liabilities. Banks will continue to enforce regulatory standards to build confidence in the financial sector. Global crude oil prices have fallen to around $70 per barrel, raising expectations that petrol prices in Nigeria could drop. However, despite the decline, the pump price of petrol remains above 1,200 naira per litre in Lagos and nearly 1,300 naira in other parts of the country. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission says while it does not regulate fuel prices, it is concerned that marketers often raise prices quickly when crude oil rises, but delay reducing them when prices fall. Petroleum marketers have prices and warning of possible industrial action. Elsewhere in West Africa, heavy rainfall has triggered deadly flooding across parts of West Africa, with at least 59 people killed in Ivory Coast and 12 others in Ghana. Authorities say flooding has also affected Benin, while more heavy rain is forecast in the coming days. The UN warns that about 7.5 million people across the region remain at risk of flooding during the rainy season. And on the wider international scene, at least 13 people have been killed and dozens injured after Russia launched a massive overnight missile and drone attack in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian authorities say nearly 500 drones and more than 70 missiles were fired, damaging residential buildings and forcing residents into shelters. President Volodymyr Zelensky described the assault as a massive attack and renewed calls for allies to provide more air defense systems. Russia said the strikes were in retaliation for recent Ukrainian drone attacks inside its territory. Now moving on to business news with Shukra Oniye. Stay with us.
Central bank takes decisive action in banking sector. A major manufacturer depends its investment in Nigeria. The stock market records a sharp decline while Nigeria and Liberia move to strengthen economic ties. Hello and welcome to your business news update. I am Oniye Shukra. Here are today's top stories and what they could mean for the economy. The Central Bank of Nigeria has revoked the license of 46 microfinance banks over the failure to meet key regulatory requirements, including capital adequacy and operational standards. The Apex Bank has also issued fresh guidelines for handling failing financial institutions, aimed at ensuring faster resolution while safeguarding financial stability. The development underscores the CBN commitment to strengthening confidence in Nigeria's financial system. For customers, it reinforces the importance of banking with a properly licensed institution. And for the industry, it signals stricter regulatory oversights. While the banking sector faces stagnation, fresh investments continue to flow into Nigeria's manufacturing industry. The NBC, Nigerian Bottling Company, has commissioned 3 additional production lines as part of its $1 billion investment program in Nigeria. According to the company, the expansion will increase production capacity, improve operational efficiency, and support job creation across the value chain. The investment reflects sustained confidence in Nigeria's consumer market and could contribute to increased industrial output and economic growth over the long term. Meanwhile, investors witnessed a difficult start to a new trading month. Nigeria's equity market shed approximately 2.9 trillion naira in the market value during the opening trading session of July, following broad-based sell-offs in several major stocks. While market corrections are a normal part of investing, analysts say the decline highlights continued investor caution amid prevailing economic uncertainties. The performance of the capital markets remains significant as influences investor confidence, corporate fundraising, and the overall outlook for economic growth. And beyond Nigeria's border, efforts are underway to strengthen regional economic cooperation. Lastly, Nigeria and Liberia are working to unlock new business opportunities by deepening collaboration in trade and investment. Discussions between both countries are focused on expanding partnership in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, infrastructure, and commerce. The initiative is expected to improve cross-border trade, encourage private sector investment, and further advance regional economic integration across West Africa. And that is your business update. Stay with us as we join Gloria Atta and Abubakar Turaki for newspaper review, where they will take a closer look at the major headlines making the rounds today and stories shaping the national discourse.
Thank you, Shukra, and welcome back from that break. Now to our next segment, which is the newspaper review with Abubakar Turaki. How are you doing today, Abubakar?
I'm doing fine, Gloria. Good day to you.
Good day to you too. I hope you are ready to dissect today's issue.
Yeah, with the second revelation we saw yesterday, I think Nigerians are actually shocked with the level of huge amount of scam.
Okay, but before we get there, let's start with our first newspaper, which is the Ghanaian newspaper. And on the front page, it says Nigerians hopeful of lower prices as FG slashes tariff. I think that's some cheering news. I was actually happy when I saw that. So let's hear your thoughts. Now, with what the federal government has done, are you expecting to start seeing considerable changes in the prices of goods and services in the country?
Well, thank you so much. Looking at what is currently going on, whatever Nigerian leaders do, they are actually aligning themselves to their own political decision ahead of 2027, and subsequently they say that the prices of things are going to come down, especially what the federal government have actually sliced on some certain things, especially imported goods like cars and some food items that are going to come into this country. So there's a little bit reduction. But recently you saw me something like, despite the fact that the crude oil price have fallen within the global market, but still Nigerians are selling PMS at the rate of almost 1,200 naira per liter. So sometimes government used to do some beautiful policies that will impact the life of innocent Nigerians. But you and I knew that we are Nigerians, and you know how Nigerians are actually behaving. So let us just be optimistic and pray this thing is going to go beyond 2027.
You know, one of the issues we usually hear from marketers and traders is that they'll tell you they bought it at a certain cost price, and because of that, they'll be at a losing end if they start selling at the current price or they start using the current reality. So what advice, or what do you think the government can do to ensure that marketers across the country and traders as well across the country stick to these new tariffs so that Nigerians will start feeling the relief that this new policy is intended to bring?
Well, the government should be more transparent and honest enough in implementing certain things.
Yeah.
We knew that the government is just like kind of like a role model, and people are looking at what the government is doing. So if the government can go beyond rhetoric and beyond lip service, I believe if they implement some policies, I believe some business honest people will also go a long way to do that. And also, the government should also continue to use its own agencies that are responsible in coordinating that aspect, because I believe there are agencies that are saddled with responsibility. For example, Consumer Protection Commission. These are all their own responsibility. And the government should also use their own agency, especially National Orientation Agency, in promoting awareness. Let Nigerians remember this is our own country. No matter the level of hardship and no matter the level of insincerity, we still have no any place to call home apart from Nigeria. And it all boils down to the good and credible leadership.
Yeah, I was actually very excited too when I saw that the tariffs also cut across the transportation industry. So that means that for a number of people, the importers and exporters, it's some cheering news for them. But another question too is, how soon do you think Nigerians should start expecting to feel the impact of these policies?
I don't want to speak from the negative lens of the eye, as I'm always optimistic. And I love to see Nigeria excelling beyond what we are currently going on now. As long as the government will put more pressure in implementing that, I believe even within tomorrow, Nigerians will start to feel that impact.
Yes, I can't even wait to go to the market and they tell
subsequently, I was pained the day before. Even though this is my personal opinion, I don't want to share it in public. Maybe after that, I will tell you.
Okay, so Abubakar and I, we have some very exclusive information, gist, after this. Amid concerns. You've been dying to dissect this particular issue. What does this, do you think that it is right for the presidency to come out right now to defend its chief of staff?
Yeah, is that as long as he's working under them?
Yes.
And you know, they are so skeptical to see that maybe they have continued to work with a bad egg among them. So it is the duty and responsibility of Mr. Bayo Onanuga to come out and debunk that statement. And it all boils down to the level of lack of insincerity.
Yeah.
You don't need to defend your somebody that is working under you. Let Nigerians decide and let the court do what is actually responsible. And what we saw yesterday is actually scary. This is to tell you is very, very unbelievable. And even the government are not even sometimes aware of their own agency. This is the country where we have fake police, fake DG. Sooner or later, if care is not taken, we may likely see a kind of like a fake first lady.
Yeah,
even fake president.
You know, just earlier today, I was going through X and I saw certain pictures and videos flying. And we saw that this man has actually had, you know, very high level meetings with top government officials. I think there was a picture he had with the Minister of Education, right? There are so many pictures that are making the rounds. So it brings to fore a lot of questions, and Nigerians are asking that what does this have to say, or how does this impact public trust of Nigerians on the Tinubu administration?
This is my own opinion, not S24 opinion. It's like the APC government have totally lost focus. Because someone that will continue to parade himself for almost 1 year, and the government of APC were not able to identify him until and unless when the chief of staff blew out that this is what is happening. And this is to tell you, I have some little screenshot of what happened.
Yes.
And this is to tell you, this man have been operating since last year. And this was a report by Daily Trust.
Yes.
it stated that somewhere around 2016,
yes,
this man has been parading himself, that is Prince Matthew, Adini has been parading himself as the ambassador and the president of the World Bank World Youth Organization, and he has a track record of scamming people. And another thing that I have here is he just went ahead and he found himself a huge amount of 1.3 billion naira was allocated to him in the budget. This is to tell you the president is not even aware of what is going on. And there has been allegation. He stated that the chief of staff to the president fast-tracked his appointment. He even accused him, or he even stated that he gave him the sum of 400 million naira.
Yes.
And we are yet to hear from them. They are yet to debunk that. And this is to tell you, when there is smoke, there is fire. And how long will Nigerians continue to have ghost workers, ghost DG, ghost core members? And even if care is not taken, where we are heading to, I don't want to see the downfall of this country. But if this government of APC continue to be like a desical, especially on the aspect of taking good care of their own mandate and responsibility to Nigerians, there will be a time when somebody will come out and parade himself as he said that he's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because it's already obvious. In one of our previous analysis, I told you it's only in this country that we have virtually two things. We have two emirs, two currency, two national anthem.
And now we have two DGs.
We have two DGs.
Two DGs, and hopefully not. We would not have two presidents. But now, currently, analysts and observers are calling for an independent investigation into this case. Do you think that the statement by Bayo Ononuga is enough, or that indeed should be an independent investigation? Because the level of complicity is quite worrying. Now, you've debunked that you do not know this person, but his agency, certain funds were earmarked in the budget. So it raises a very, it raises a lot of questions and doubts in the minds of ordinary Nigerians, and analysts are asking questions. Do you indeed support the call for an independent investigation into both the chief of staff to the president, the man involved, and any other person that would be found complicit?
Gloria, if you say independent, I think you are downplaying the level of the scandal. I think I would say super independent panel investigation.
Yes.
And when corruption case like this is being portrayed outside, then definitely there are a lot of people, because him alone cannot be able to at least fast track this kind of scandal. And let me tell you, let me also refer back to something that I have seen online. 7 questions Nigerians are asking the presidency.
Yes.
Who incited it into the 2026 Appropriate Act? Question number 1. Who allocated office space to the agency?
Yes.
Question number 2. If over 300 personnel were approved for the agency, who approved them? Question number 4. Who advised the president to assent into the budget? Question number 5. And which Senate and House of Representatives scrutinized and approved the allocation? These are questions Nigerians are asking from the presidency. Before you get approval or before you get allocation at the federal secretary, it has to go through to the office of the secretary to the government of the federation.
Yes,
and which
indeed.
They came out and claimed that this man, they don't even know where he exists. But there is a political understanding behind that. Maybe they wanted to use that office to earmark and siphon some taxpayers' money so that they can keep it ahead of 2027.
Allegedly.
These are all allegations. We need to go beyond allegation and beyond accusation. I think Nigerians are more politically wise that they can differentiate between black, white, red, and even brown.
Thank you so
much. With the level of
Abubakar.
knowledge and with the level of people who are becoming more politically socialized and more politically aware. If you ask me, one of the major reasons why for the past 3 months, schools have been unrest, people have been adopted in virtually all aspects of the education in this country, it is just because education is the only tool where a child of a peasant will be celebrated tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Abubakar. I have to cut you short right here. Indeed, this current situation, it raises a lot of questions and a lot of comments as well about the need for accountability and public communication in government. So that's all we can take today on our newspaper review. Thank you, Abubakar, for coming. And up next is S24 Report coming to you after the break. Stay with us. As the fight against insecurity intensifies, the Defense Headquarters says troops deployed across various theaters of operation have recorded significant gains against terrorists, bandits, violent extremists, and other criminal elements threatening peace and stability across the country. Briefing defense correspondents in Abuja on the second quarter operational successes for 2026, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Michael Onoja, said coordinated ground and air offensives led to the neutralization of scores of insurgents and the arrest of several criminal suspects. He disclosed that in the second quarter of 2026 alone, troops neutralized 662 terrorists and other criminals, arrested 1,084 suspects, and rescued 951 kidnapped victims during nationwide counterinsurgency and anti-crime operations.
The operational record for the month of June, as well as the second quarter of this year, stands as compelling testimony to the sustained professionalism, operational excellence, and unwavering resolve of troops of the armed forces across all the operational theaters. The armed forces neutralized 129 terrorists and criminals. 486 terrorists and criminals were arrested. 542 kidnapped civilians were rescued. 11 insurgents surrendered. 130 arms and 5,538 rounds of ammunition were recovered. Additionally, 7 illegal refining sites were dismantled and over 308,505 liters of stolen petroleum products were recovered during the month of June 2026. Significant to military operations was also air interdiction operations. The Nigerian Air Force conducted critical air interdiction missions in support of ground operations during the period. Then on the 19th, air power assets in the Kendandan area of Yadi Forest in Giwa local government area, Kaduna State, tracked terrorists on motorcycles to their forest hideouts and executed a precision strike, neutralizing the terrorists and their stores. On the 22nd, in the same Kidandan area, 4 terrorists on motorcycles were tracked to a hideout and neutralized. The feedback that we have gotten from the local communities in Giwa and its environs in Kaduna State testifying to the effectiveness of these air interdiction missions, which have significantly disrupted the operational freedom of terrorists and bandit elements in the area.
General Onoja added that the military also made significant progress in raiding terrorist hideouts and dismantling kidnap syndicates, while several extremist collaborators were arrested. Among those apprehended was Abubakar Usman, also known as Buba, a suspected high-profile terrorist collaborator in the Northeast.
Critical intelligence breakthroughs on the 14th led to the arrest of suspected terrorist collaborator Abubakar Usman, alias Buba, at the government secondary school IDP camp in Goza, whose confessions guided the subsequent operation on the 16th of June at Isge community, Goza local government area. This resulted in the apprehension of one Modu Alta, a Sambisa forest-based collaborator who further exposed additional local facilitators currently being actively tracked. On the 11th, 11 suspected collaborators were also intercepted in 2 vehicles at Kekeno in Kukawa local government area, further degrading terrorist intelligence and logistics networks.
The Defense Headquarters expressed confidence that sustained military operations, stronger interagency collaboration, and continued public support will help the country overcome its evolving security challenges. Gloria Atta, reporting for S24 Television.
Good afternoon and welcome to Political Arena on S24 Television. Today, we're discussing on women participation, representation, and the future of leadership in Nigeria. Our guest is Honorable Rukaya Lamido, an ADC aspirant for the House of Representatives, who aspires to represent the good people of Malumfashi, Kafur Federal Constituency of Katsina State. She joined us to share her journey, political experience, and the plan for the good people of Kafur and Malumfashi Federal Constituency if given the opportunity in 2027. Honorable, we are welcome to Political Arena on S24 Television.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Honorable, if I may ask, what inspired you to join politics?
Okay. So let me start by introducing myself.
Okay.
Yes, I am Rukaya Lamido. I'm from Malumfashi local government from Katsina State. And I'm a woman and youth advocate in politics and leadership. What really inspired me to join politics is the fact that over the years, I have seen a lot of boundaries set up for women and youths in Nigeria when it comes to leadership. And I have come out here to be an advocate to encourage them, to show them that, okay, it's not all about age or gender. It's about competence, vision, and commitment. You can actually be there when you are committed and you are really set up for what you really want. Being in politics is not easy, or let me say being in leadership is not easy. And I believe what really inspired me to join politics is not for selfish interests, but genuinely, I have had interest in politics over time, and I believe now is the time. Come in with the party I am in, which has clearly shown inclusive leadership.
It sounds very bold and courageous. And looking at you, intended to join politics for the purpose of serving your good people. So why choosing ADC?
Okay, the reason why I chose ADC is because as a party that has clearly shown inclusive leadership, setting aside age and gender, and at the same time, ADC has really given a platform for women to come out, be a part of political activities, and even giving them a chance to run for seats, especially setting aside a percentage for women, which is
and
clearly...
even person with disability.
Yes, even peoples with disabilities, even setting up a percentage for them and encouraging them in so many ways to be out there.
Well, look at you wanted to represent the good people of Malumfashi and Kafur Federal Constituency in Katsina State. What are the major challenges facing your people, and how do you intend to address these challenges if given the opportunity?
Okay, Malumfashi and Kafur are facing major challenges when it comes to lack of educational facilities. Even the opportunity for a quality education is quite limited. Basic amenities. And at the same time, you see when a community has youths and women not being vocationally or digitally skilled, it becomes a problem with economic growth. So I am really trying so hard to make sure that these things are in place, and I believe it will be a safe environment for
everyone out
there.
Okay. Education and youth unemployment remain a major concern in the northern Nigeria, especially where you came from.
Yes.
And what practical solution do you intend to promote that inclusivity in terms of sending people to school and in making sure that your people have the good and quality education needed there?
Okay, I actually intend to encourage parents to give their children the opportunity to go to school. At times, some have the interest while some don't. But when they see that there's a safe ground, or let me say a conducive environment for that, I'm sure they'll be encouraged to send their kids out to school. So I plan to make sure that education is really, really
affordable,
and at the same time accessible to each and every member in my constituency. Because you see, when a community is educated, you go a long way. So education, healthcare facilities, and at the same time partnering with private and international
NGO and
organizations, and partnering with international organizations and private sectors to help encourage employment for the educated ones, so they can look back at their younger ones and even look back at other people around them to help out.
Well, he sounds confident. Well, looking at the mistrust between politicians and their people, and it has become obvious that once if politicians are saying something, people used to look at it as just a mere blanket promises. How do you intend to balance that gap? How do you acceptability and transparency among you and
well, you see, for a woman in politics and in leadership, I believe we women are quite determined. And the fact that I'm a woman is enough to show that, okay, this person is a mother and she knows what our people are going through, and she will do the right things to really make sure her constituents are out of whatever problems they're in. I believe over the months I have been traveling to Malumfashi and Gafur, I have seen that a lot of people have this level of trust for me. Keeping gender aside and age aside, they believe, okay, we have given this man a chance countless times and we have not gotten what we want. So let's give this woman a chance. And we all know that when a woman is given a chance to rule or to be in governance, she actually proves the best.
Well,
so I believe transparency and trust between I and my people will not be a problem, because I believe they know the
may
capacity.
likely be your words against your words.
It's not.
Well, Katsina State and Nigeria generally has been battling with the problem of insecurity.
Yes.
And we know how those bandits have been terrorizing some axis of Katsina State.
That's very true.
As a lawmaker, as someone who wants to represent the good people of Kafur and Manumfashi, what are your approach in solving the problem of insecurity?
Well, for insecurity, we need to really enforce the police, the DSS, and every other law enforcement agencies to at least be more serious with carrying out their activities in these places. You see, I believe if they were doing much more than expected, all this would not be a problem. And when you talk about insecurity there, yes, it's a problem, but I believe with time, people will be more aware that, okay, we all need to live together in peace. The police, every law enforcing agency is doing their best, but I believe with good governance, they will do better.
You have said it all. Good governance, they will do better.
Yes.
Are you also advocating, or are you also supporting state police?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I am. I am supporting it, because you see, most advanced countries, they all have that. And I believe Nigeria has been longing for this. So I believe it's going to really go a long way in enforcing security, because you see, it will now be like a competition between states, because you will not want your states to lack or to be a state that will be tagged with, okay, these people are having serious or major setbacks when it comes to security. So I believe every state will be challenged to do better when it comes to enforcing security.
But looking at the distrust between governors and the people seems to be disenchanted and think that governors may likely use state police as an apparatus to use against the opposition.
I believe the police also have their trainings and they know what exactly their duties are. So I don't think that will come in play.
Okay, what role? You have chosen to run under the platform of ADC. And which ADC is among the strong opposition party right away after PDP.
Very strong.
So looking at the political tension that is currently going on, before we came in, we had a conversation about Nigeria tilting toward one party dominance. Do you think that your party may likely make it to 2027 election?
Yes, my party will make it to 2027 election, because already our presidential candidate, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, is already on the ballot. So nothing will stop us. We had some cases months back, which were coming up with factions, different factions from the party. But now, thankfully, everything has come to an end, and we all know that ADC is a David Mark-led party. So all ADC will be on the ballot, and ADC will make it in 2027.
Well, you know, politicians seems to be so courageous. Even somebody know that he cannot make it, but sometimes they seems to disguise and say they can make it. But I truly believe if Nigerians can go beyond political party in selecting their own candidates, I think Nigeria problems, we may likely see the light of the day. Because recently, before I came in, I saw the kind of like court cases have been all over most of the political parties. And do you think that after getting into 2027 polls, you may be able to at least unite yourself and give the best leadership Nigerians needed? We just spoke about the Bala faction and even the David Bal faction, but you spoke like you still believe that your party will still make it and will see the light of the day. So you mean right away now, if Nigerians give your party the opportunity, you will solve almost 90%.
It's more of choosing a competent candidate. And I believe with all the challenges each and every Nigerian has gone through in the past almost 4 years now, people are wiser and will do what is expected coming 2027.
Your people are watching you out there. Why should the people of Modern Fashi and Kafur choose Honorable Rukaya Lamido as their representative?
This is a very well, like I said earlier, coming into politics is not for my selfish gain, but the thing here is that I have had interest over the years, and I believe over the years growing up, I have seen people in Malumfashi and Kafur go through so much pain, poverty, and unfortunately, the stories are not changing. I believe with my experience, since I have been a little child till date, I know what my people truly need. And we've given the opportunity, I'll prove to them that, yes, change is real and change can truly come to Malumfashi and Kafur.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rukaya.
Thank you.
So before we draw the curtain of the show, ahead of 2027, what are your calls to young Nigerians and women?
Okay, I advise young Nigerians and women to try as much as possible to live in peace and harmony, go out for their elections, and know that, okay, it's far beyond a political party or far beyond whatever interests they might have. I believe they should vote wisely, look at the candidates on the ballots, and do what is expected. People, if a country has peace, it grows. So if there's no peace and harmony, there will be so many challenges and so many setbacks. So I believe if we try to enforce peace, we would go a long way.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rukaya Lamido.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.
And I believe when you finally assume office, you will surely come here and let us talk again about your political journey.
Sure.
And I will go with what you said. If a country have peace, the country may likely develop.
Yes.
And this is where we will draw the curtain of political arena here on S24 television. Remember, the stability of our dear country, Nigeria, is the stability of the entire African states. Thank you and bye for now.
What benefits should consumers expect from stronger regulatory oversight of ownership changes? Like you said, when we are looking at, we'll not look at the negative part of regulations and all that. So what benefits should consumers expect from stronger regulatory oversight?
Well, specifically for these two regulatory instruments that have been issued, what we expect to see as the benefits is that there will be what is called fair competition among the operators. That is one. And fair competition will ensure that there is also fair pricing. So at the end of the it is expected that the consumers will have lower prices, or what is called market-sensitive prices rather than one individual trying to fix or fixing the price by fiat. Yes.
Nicely said. So with increasing investments in Nigeria's digital economy, how important is ownership transparency to national security and economic stability?
Well, first of all, generally, there is a requirement, global requirement, that ownership should be as transparent as possible. But particularly for the telecom sector, we had earlier emphasized that it is a very sensitive sector from the perspective of security and from the perspective that it affects almost everybody. Okay, from security perspectives, you would ensure that those companies do not fall into wrong hands. Wrong hands in the sense that regulators and the government generally will avoid a situation in which those enterprises would fall into, if we call one example, those persons that are on what is called the sanction list of the United Nations or the sanction list of the country. Okay, that is how you could look at it. Then you could also look at it from the perspective of what we call concentration of ownership, which we said could lead to monopoly and unfair prices. So those two are what will immediately come to mind.
Nice. So finally now, what message would you like to send to investors and telecom operators regarding the new regulatory framework? Despite the fact that you said it has been there, but we just want to make it more public and have more sensitization to people out there.
Well, the message that we want to send, particularly to the operators, is that they have nothing to fear. Okay, for an honest businessman, that is not going to affect his way of business, but rather it will even enhance his business, because he will know that the people he will be dealing with will comply with industry standard, and they will not be involved in unfair practices that jeopardizes both the interests of other operators or the consumers generally.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being here to enlighten people more about what it takes and this press release about the regulations put in place by the NCC and the CAC. There you have it. You've heard from the source directly that regulatory and regulations being put in place is actually good for the telecommunication sectors and other sectors involved. This is where we draw the curtain for today's edition. We'll see you in the next one.
From the courtroom to conflict-hit communities, Nigeria continues to grapple with security challenges. The latest developments include the arraignment of alleged accomplices, renewed communal violence, and a kidnapping case that has taken another troubling turn. We begin with the Department of State Services. The DSS has arraigned 5 associates of former Minister of State for Petroleum, Timipre Silva, before the Federal High Court in Abuja over allegations that they concealed information about his whereabouts. The defendants, Reuben Ayuba, Musa Muhammad, Friday Paul, Panega Anaga, and Ayebaife Sobutia appeared before Justice Peter Lifu on a 2-count charge of allegedly aiding a fugitive and conspiring to conceal his location. They all pleaded not guilty, while the prosecution asked the court to fix a date for trial. Following separate bail applications by the defense, the court granted each defendant's bail in the sum of 5 million naira,
with 2 sureties in like sum. Now, an unspecific number of people are feared dead following a violent clash between herders and farmers in several communities in the Munya local government area of Niger State. The violence reportedly affected Kuwankasa, Marabang Guadaro, and Tashambako village, where residents fled for safety as homes and properties were destroyed. Local sources say the conflict escalated after a disagreement between the two groups, leading to widespread attacks. Finally, on the news today, 9 months after his abduction, a commissioner with the Niger State Independent Electoral Commission, Barrister Ahmed Mohammed, remains in captivity despite his family reportedly paying a 40 million naira ransom to secure his release. Mohammed was kidnapped by bandits on September 29, 2025, along the Mokwa Ibi Road in Borgu local government area while traveling to Mina. And his continued detention has heightened concerns over the worsening insecurity in the state. Sources close to the family said the kidnappers have now demanded an additional 300 million naira before releasing the electorate commissioner, leaving relatives devastated after exhausting their resources to meet the earlier ransom demand. That is the latest on the security front. Remember to stay vigilant, keep up with verified information, and take necessary precautions to protect yourself. Remember, safety begins with awareness.
Hello and welcome to Tech Updates. I am Ko. To start with, the Core of Africa is set to host its major tech fair today in Ajengule, Lagos, bringing digital opportunities closer to the grassroots. The event will offer skills, training, networking, opportunities, and a platform for local innovators and young people to connect with industry professionals. Moving on, Vice President Kashim Shettima has commended Starlink for donating specialized satellite communication equipment to the National Emergency Management Agency. The equipment is expected to strengthen disaster management by improving communication, coordination, as well as emergency response during crises across the country. And finally, Google has rolled out an update to the Gmail app for both iOS and Android users. The new feature allows delegates to read, manage, and compose emails on behalf of another user directly from their mobile devices, making collaboration more seamless for businesses and teams. And that's all we can take for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next segment. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Update on S24 Rundown. Here are the stories making headlines today. We begin with Afrobeat superstar Burna Boy, who is celebrating his 35th birthday today. Fans, celebrity, and fellow artists have taken to social media to celebrate the Grammy-winning singer, sharing birthday messages, memorable performances, and highlights from his remarkable career. Since breaking into the international music scene, Burna Boy has continued to raise the profile of Afrobeats globally, earning major awards, headlining sold-out shows, and becoming one of Africa's most celebrated music stars. Videos from his birthday celebration with family and close friends have also surfaced online, with fans enjoying a glimpse into the more personal side of the music icon as the celebration continues. From music celebration to the case that continues to draw national attention, an Abuja court has fixed September 29 to deliver judgment in a suit seeking a fresh investigation into the death of the late singer Mohbad. The court reserved its judgment after hearing arguments from all parties involved. Mohbad's death in September 2023 sparked widespread reaction across the country, with fans and supporters demanding justice and a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding his passing. As the case moves closer to a final decision, many Nigerians will be watching closely what the court's ruling could mean for the ongoing search for answers. The 2026 tournament, it is also becoming one of the biggest celebrity gathering sports Hollywood stars and music icons, including Tom Cruise, David Beckham, Katy Perry, and several other international celebrities, have been spotted attending matches and FIFA events throughout the competition. Their appearances have added even more excitement to the tournament, with fans enjoying the mix of football, music, and entertainment, both on and off the pitch. From cheering in the stands to meeting players and taking part in official events, celebrities are making this year's World Cup a truly global spectacle. And that's your entertainment update for today. I am Karimat Hassan. Stay tuned for our next segment.
The World Cup is delivering drama like never before. Incredible comebacks, controversial decisions, transfer headlines shaking up European football, and another exciting boost for Nigerian athletics. You are in the right place because we've got all the biggest stories making waves in the world of sports. Welcome to your sports updates. Let's get straight into action. We begin in Seattle, where Belgium survived one of the biggest scares of the tournament to snatch a dramatic 3-2 victory over Senegal and book their place in the round of 16. For much of the game, it looked like Senegal were cruising. Habib Diarra opened the scoring before Ismail Sarr doubled the lead early in the second half, putting the Lions of Teranga firmly in control. But football can change in an instant. Romelu Lukaku pulled one back in the 86th minute, and just 3 minutes later, headed home the equalizer to stun the Senegalese support. Penalty seemingly inevitable. Struck following a lengthy VAR review. Belgium were awarded a highly disrupted penalty in the dying seconds. Telemann stepped up, kept his nerves, and completed an incredible comeback to send Belgium through. Next to Atlanta, where England also had to dig deep to avoid a stunning exit. DR Congo shocked the Three Lions with an early goal from Brian Chipenga and defended brilliantly for most of the contest. But when England needed a hero, Captain Harry Kane answered the call. He power-domed the equalizer before firing in the winner just 4 minutes from time to complete a dramatic 2-1 comeback and book England's place in the round of 16 against co-hosts Mexico. Off the pitch now, Tottenham Hotspur are making serious moves in the transfer markets. Reports say Spurs have agreed a club record €100 million deals to sign. If the moves go through, it will become one of the greatest major statements by new manager Roberto De Zerbi as he reshapes his squad. Finally, there is exciting news for Nigerian athletic. Junior sprint sensation Rosemary Nwankwo attended a late invitation to Nigeria's Commonwealth Games training camp in Abuja after impressing throughout the season. The talented youngster played a key role in helping Nigeria qualify for the World Championship in the women's 4x100-meter relay and is also expected to compete at the African Under-18 and Under-20 Championship before joining the national camp. Nigeria's sprinting future certainly looks bright. And that's a wrap on today's sports updates. From breathtaking World Cup drama and transfer market buzz to rising, Nigeria stars making headlines. The action never stops. I am Stephen Eilebo. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep celebrating the beautiful game because there's always another big story just around the corner. See you on the next sports updates. Coming up next is PG News.
My country people, una welcome to another Tori segment where they drop yarn about waiting the Totori people for Naija and Obodo Yibo. Draw chair come, kia we enter the main matter for today. We go start with politics where gbas feed dey shele between the ruling All Progressive Congress wey be APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission wey be INEC over the party new Senate candidate list for the 2027 general elections. APC don return tickets, give 6-7 senators and don't change candidates for 9 states after them review complaints from party primaries. But INEC can say now only candidates will emerge for primaries where they monitor, they go qualify. The electoral body say any name will no match their official record, no go past their nomination portal. The development fit cause fresh court case as 2027 election they draw near. And from politics, make waka enter presidency matter. Presidency, they face fresh questions over Prince Adeyemi, where they answer 8 criminal charges for Federal High Court for Abuja. Government accuse and say he posed as Director General of one fake presidential agency, forge appointment papers, and operate plenty bank accounts linked to fake government offices. Presidency Yan say the case starts after complaint from government agencies and petition from Chief of Staff, wey be Femi Gbajabiamila, wey deny say he never appoint Adeyemi. Human rights lawyer wey be Femi Falana don't call for independent investigation, saying presidency no get constitutional power to clear anybody. Adeyemi deny all the allegations and accused Gbajabiamila of demanding money to secure appointment. And for money matter, the Central Bank of Nigeria don't withdraw the operating licenses of 46 microfinance banks effective from July 1st. CBN Yan say the bank failed to meet important regulatory requirements like minimum capital, timely commencement of operation, enough assets to cover liabilities. The Apex Bank Yan say the and keep confidence for Nigeria bank. And for global crude oil price, it don't fall, reach $70 per barrel, but petrol price for Nigeria still remain above 1,200 naira per liter for Lagos and almost 1,300 for many other places. Consumer Protection Commission Yan say marketers they quick to increase fuel price when crude rise, but they slow to reduce and when crude fall. Petroleum marketers insist say market forces go determine fuel prices and one say they fit take industrial action. And for West Africa, heavy rainfall don't cause serious flooding as at least 59 people don't die for Ivory Coast, while 12 people lose their lives for Ghana. Flooding don't also affect Benin, and the weather experts Yan say more heavy rains till they come. United Nations also Yan say about 7.5 million people across West Africa still they at risk of flooding. Last people don't buy after Russia launched massive overnight missile and drone attack on Ukraine, maybe Kiev. Ukrainian officials say almost 500 drones and more than 70 missiles hit different areas, damaging houses and forcing residents make their run enter shelters. President Volodymyr Zelensky don't renew call, make alliance, provide more air defense system, while Russia say the attack na retaliation for recent Ukrainian drone strikes inside Russian territory. My people, now here we go hang boot for today. And always remember, say, success no dey make noise every time. Sometimes it just they grow quietly. Una, bye.
Thank you, Hadiza Galadima, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time, and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. I am Gloria Atta. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.